Okay.
Is that what happened last time when it didn't go live? It just stayed there?
Yeah. That's why you just got 20 seconds of me looking at a camera. That was good. Okay. There we go. Okay. But yeah, we're good on that, actually. I talked to the professor last week. That's what I was talking about. She said it was okay.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay, so this week it looks like we've got to go over organizations and culture, organizational culture, what was bad, good, stuff like that. Oh yeah, before we start, anybody want to talk about the database thing at all? Any questions on that or anything?
I honestly haven't had time to even go and look at my section, but I promise I will this week.
It's not that bad. It's pretty. You just have to find like a bunch of resources or a bunch of citations for that word that we picked out, so it's not bad.
That and like where it first started, where it originated.
Yeah. If you Google your word and just put origin after that, I got lucky. I got a Wikipedia article that told me who coined the word, when it was, and all of that. So you can try it too, see if you get lucky.
Okay, and then you can look that up through that.
Yeah, because you can see like all the resources that they, because you can see what Wikipedia is citing too, and you can go back and look at what they're actually looking at and go from there.
Okay.
So yeah, she's having trouble. Somebody's having trouble getting in, but it'll be in just a couple minutes.
My dog is eating something she shouldn't be eating. Okay. So, have you guys had the chance to read chapter 8 yet?
Yeah, the one on like organizational culture and building it and maintaining it and all that. So the main prompt for this week was really just like, yeah, what you guys have had in the past that, or what your thoughts on it were. Bad cultures, good cultures, bad organizations you've been a part of, stuff like that.
One that, so while I was reading, something that kind of stood out to me was, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, was the Galatea effect. Galatea effect. It was like basically when a manager or a leader talks to their followers about how they're feeling, like what their thoughts are kind of on the organizational culture, and get their feedback. Because obviously a manager or a leader can try to project a certain culture, but if the followers aren't really, if they're kind of having different feelings towards it, or they're taking it a little bit differently, then that can kind of derail it in itself. So it's basically what it kind of said was that the leader, they communicate with their subordinates and just kind of, I guess, get how they're feeling about it, which I thought was pretty interesting, because I've had a manager who's been like that, where they check in with us, kind of seeing like how everything's going, how they feel, or how we feel, we like, our group setting, and if there's anything we want to change, just kind of touching base every once in a while, which I thought was interesting.
Cool. Yeah, because I had something I wrote down about that too. Let me see what we have here. Oh yeah, there's something interesting too about that. Towards the end of the chapter, they were talking about how organizations should maybe put like new recruits or new hires with more experienced leaders, like maybe more of the, not like the really, like the executives or all that, more like people who are like really good at what they do, instead of people who've been like stuck in their, lower management position for a while and whatnot. So I'm used to, like, usually whenever you come out somewhere new, you're usually stuck with whoever the new person, or whoever kind of like the new supervisor is, or I don't know. Usually don't get put with like the top level person, the big, the guy who's really good at what they do, or the girl who's really good at what she does. It's, you don't see that very much, really.
Like a subject matter expert?
But yeah, somebody who knows what they're doing, or Because I remember I
Well,
worked.
that actually happened with me in my current position. When I got trained, it was somebody that had been there for a year, and they told me so many wrong things
Hmm.
that it was bad. And then when I went to my director, he's like, "Where did you learn this stuff?" I'm like,
That's
no.
I think it does a good job of setting expectations for the new person too, right? So if you put them with somebody that's been there for 10 years and is in the same level and has never seen career growth, the expectations they set or the way that they articulate what the culture actually is may be very, very different than you as a manager would want it to be. So if you put them with somebody who's an absolute rock star, of course they're going to have a higher level of engagement. They're going to have a much more positive view, and they're probably going to instill good habits and not kind of negativity and kind of that toxic mindset.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had actually a job I had a few years back was for it was actually for one of the for-profit universities, and I was kind of like a recruiter, so I had to do outbound calls and get people to sign up and how we were going to change their lives and all that. But it was really interesting because our trainer, she was really nice, but she'd only been doing the work for I think a few months before she got pulled into training. It was just like it was one of those positions. Yeah, kind of like what Stephanie mentioned, where I would once you actually get out on the floor, the managers out there are like, "Where did you learn this?" Like what? That's not what we're doing. And I remember my first months, I didn't even have a supervisor. I got stuck with the supervisor wasn't even there. She was sick or gone, or I can't remember what it was, but I didn't even have anybody guiding me for the first 2 months. So that was kind of a crappy job, to say the least. You ever actually had that? Like, they ever put you with like the best person? I don't think I've ever seen that before.
When I worked at Home Depot, there used to be a lot of people that really knew what they were doing, and they would try to make those like the department coaches. So that was usually helpful.
What type of dog do you have?
I have a healer and just a boxer mix, but they're both insane. They're driving me nuts right now. I don't know if you can see this one.
Mhm.
That's my healer. Anyway, sorry.
Now they're gonna like keep chasing after the camera.
Yeah, they destroyed this toy I just bought them, and they're making mess right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when I got paired with,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Topic of being paired with the people at Home Depot that I worked there for 5 years, and there were some people that had been there for like 20 something years that think so. Those ones are usually the coaches for each department.
That's cool too. Like my current job did that, where I started off in sales and now I work in more of the marketing side, but they would put you with actually like the top sellers and all that. You'd pick up from them, like obviously it makes sense. It's kind of you get all the best habits, all the tips, tricks, insider info, all of that. It's a lot better than sticking somebody with maybe a low level manager who's kind of like you mentioned toxic, who could it's not going to start, I guess,
Right.
ruin it for the person.
Yeah, and it's also better if you have multiple people who know what they're doing versus like if you have that there are 3 managers, they're all brand new. It's not good.
Yeah, I had one like that at that for-profit university where he was really, really good at the sales part, but not good at all at leading people. And yeah, he was kind of a dick.
Yeah, I've also found that there's some I guess industries where being the subject matter expert doesn't necessarily make you the best manager. So we've actually
Yeah,
found
that's true.
some people are really great at you know, like, so my group is in, part of my group is in a call center. It's the people who are really, really great at taking calls are not necessarily the people who are really, really great at inspiring others or making tough decisions or things like that. So I think there's also part of it isn't necessarily just the subject matter component that kind of gives you street cred, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be the most effective leader.
Very
That is true.
Let's
So do you guys have any examples of, I think it's really easy to remember the super great experiences with culture. And I think it's also really easy to remember like the worst cultures ever. Do you guys have any examples of ones where like, I don't ever want to be in that culture again?
Is that a dog tail?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, no worries.
I told you they're always in my business when I get home.
So I have an example. I had a leader one time that had a very small team of managers. There were 3 of us, but his style of leadership was to kind of pit everybody against each other so
Yeah.
that we weren't all functioning as a team. And he would do it in like one-on-one settings. So we would all come out thinking that the other 2 had been conspiring. It was awful. I think I lasted-
Start sabotaging each other. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's not
was
good.
terrible.
You know what? That actually reminded me. There's 3 of my managers, my office manager, and then my 2 directors are planning something, and they haven't told any of the staff yet what they're gonna do. And I know that some of it's that oh goodness, I can't even talk. They're reorganizing everyone's job duties, but they're going to have the meeting so that none of the staff can overhear what they're doing. And I feel like that's the worst kind of leadership, to just not include your staff at all and just make decisions without them.
Well, and there's the other piece of it where it's kind of, it feels shady. And so even if they're going off to say, hey, we should get everybody a raise, from the perspective of the employees, right, it feels like you're trying to hide something. And so even if they're not doing anything, there's a trust element that's been affected, whether they intended to or not.
Yeah, and that's exactly how all the staff members feel. We're like, well, what's so secret that you guys can't just have your meeting here? You know, it's weird.
Yeah, and everybody just spends all their time and energy worrying about what's coming versus focusing on what, you know, whatever your normal day to day is. Really,
Right? And then we're like trying to find out information instead of focusing on our job.
not that I've ever done that before, but I'm just saying.
Right? Not that I did that today, but
Well, if you don't tell us what you're doing, we're gonna have to make something up for you. So yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Hi guys, sorry I couldn't connect. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay,
You hear us?
sorry about that. I apologize.
We were just talking about more of like some of the, I guess, crappier organizational or see, you just started organizational cultures we've been part of.
Well, I think right now I'm kind of in like not necessarily crappy, but I think it's transitioning into like losing trust within the employees. I think our leader, our executive director, she so badly wants to have the kind of culture that we saw in the Zappos video. I don't know if you guys all watched that. But that culture where everyone loves being there and everyone loves each other and working with each other, she so badly wants that. I know we have like staff development days twice a year where she'll bring in a speaker that'll speak on topics like that, kind of to inspire the employees and motivate them and to kind of create that culture. But when I say I think it's losing trust is when we do have issues at work that need addressed, there's not always like a follow through with the plan of action. And then employees get discouraged. We don't want to work for people that don't follow through with what they say they're going to do. And it gets frustrating after a while. And a lot of people have been leaving. Right now, I think we're kind of like on a plateau of like people leaving, but it's kind of frustrating when you so badly could see the potential, but there's no follow through, no plan of action. I think that's where I'm at right now.
That's crazy too. This would be like you're at Intuit, right? You were saying?
No, I'm at a nonprofit organization, a health nonprofit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it'd be a terrible time to have people meeting. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I think there was something in the reading somewhere about that very thing, Jenna, around, we call it at work the say-do ratio. Like, what is the likelihood that if you tell people you're going to do something that you actually follow through and commit to it?
Right.
And we've had the same thing. If somebody, you can tell us great stuff all day long, but if you don't actually do it and we don't actually see the impact to us personally, it's very difficult to believe you the next time you say something. And over time, it completely erodes it.
Right. And I think that's what we're going through right now.
Yeah, that sucks.
That would suck. Yeah. I honestly can't really, I guess, complain. I've had bad experiences, or at least one, like, where, like Christine mentioned, where people are kind of any position really where people are pitted against each other. It's just nothing good out of that. And it was a car dealership, so the salespeople were really nice to each other when it benefited them, but obviously, at like the end of the day, they would be trying to stab each other in the back, and it was just conspiracies everywhere. Not good. And then one of the managers too, it was really authoritarian too, and everything was about the dress code and being perfect, and it was just it was kind of a hassle. Not good. What about you, Brian? Any bad experiences you can think of?
Yeah, I was thinking about kind of what Jenna said, where because I'm actually on the tail end at my current company, where there was a while, probably for like 8 months, where it was constantly, I was being told by our CEO, by our CFO, like, oh, you guys are doing really good. Like we're reviewing all of your work, and like everyone should be getting bonuses, and we're thinking about giving you guys like upgraded computers and all this fancy stuff, and kept constantly talking about how, oh, we're going to hire more people because you guys are doing such a great job, and nothing would happen. And then it just got so consistent where they would say all these great things and never come through with anything, where it eventually got annoying when they would kind of give us praise. And it's like, I don't believe anything you're really saying. It's kind of counterproductive, because now I just go into work with a bad attitude where it's like,
Right.
I'm doing good, but obviously nothing's coming of it.
That kind of sucks too, because then anytime it kind of removes anything good that you could have, I guess, any potential for anything good, because anytime they bring up anything good, you're automatically thinking, yeah, it's not going to happen. Or anytime they praise you, you just think it's like, it's BS, and it's, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, how demotivating.
Cool. If it helps, we hit our time limit. Do you guys have any parting thoughts, anything last minute?
Nope.
No, sorry. I'll try to be on. I've been working on trying to connect since like 5, and I don't know what happened. I had like 3 different computers, but I think I settled it now.
Would it help too if I can go into my email, like copy paste the link into a text since you're on your phone? Would that help at all, or I don't know?
If you could try that, yeah, that would be great.
Okay, cool.
I'm on a tablet right now.
It works.
I finally found something that works. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right, awesome. Well, everybody enjoy the rest of your week, and I guess see you guys next week.
All right.
Have a good week.
All right, take care.
Bye.